Hello, everyone.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Controllers and Couches. I'm FullMetalChicken.
And I am Stephfafahh.
And we're currently in the middle of a heat wave. So
it's another heat wave, I think the third one.
Yeah,
so it's been a shit fucking 4 days, let me tell you.
Yeah, just heat. So we are melting. Not like the polar ice caps melting, just, ice cream on a pavement kind of melting. So, yeah.
It's just been, especially like last night, it was 32 degrees at night and there was no temperature change or anything like that. And it's just, and the cool change is like slowly rolling in. So we've opened up all our doors and windows. So we apologise if any air interferes with our talking.
We'll leave a link for the air so you can download the cool air. If I can compress it.
So what's new with you, sir?
Basically just another round of just work, Call of Duty, which is just pathetic at the moment. So I'm thinking of switching up and going back to Doom. So going back to maybe Doom 3 or Battlefield. But I haven't been on World of Tanks for a while, so I might do some battles. And then I got a lot of reading to do, so I'll probably do that. But considering, so I'll probably end up just chasing around ice cream trucks in the street. So that's me.
Well, I didn't, as we know, I got to sleep at like 6:30, even though we went to bed last night at like 2. And in my unable to sleep state, I found out that Roanoke. Yeah, is that how I say it? Okay, I'm a dum-dum. American Horror Story Season 6, Roanoke, is on the Australian Netflix catalogue. So I'm halfway through Chapter 3, but Episode 3 of that. I didn't even know. I didn't get a notification, which is so annoying. Yeah. So I was just scrolling through the horror because I was going to watch a horror movie. But, yeah.
See, the one I'm waiting on is Altered Carbon.
Yeah.
Which starts on the 2nd of Feb. So.
And apart from that, my uni timetable opens up on Wednesday.
Nice.
There's a month. It's the one where we actually it's the first in, first served.
Yep.
That's make your timetable, and that's what you got to stick with.
So, do you guys have like a battle where you all get stand in an auditorium and then you battle over who gets?
No, because what do you call it? We have like a preference allocation mode that they closed a week ago. And you put in, it's all online, so you put in you have to have a minimum of 1, 2 or 3 if your subject has that many allocations available. So you personally, with pen and paper, you decide what you want your timetable to be. So you get your paper, you write out the days of the week, your lectures don't change, they're essentially core. And then you have a look, you're enrolled and that's added to your timetable regardless of what you do. And then around there you can work around your lab timetable and preferences, and then your workshops, and then your shoots. So I'm trying to go for biochem on Thursday because I don't really want to be doing biochem from 12 to 6 on a Friday.
Yeah, that's kind of shit.
So I figured I'm going to keep the biochem to a Thursday and stick the biomed to Friday because it's either Thursday or Friday for both subjects.
Yeah. So
that's the way, hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to go and work out on Wednesday. But a month to go to uni.
Nice.
I'm scared.
4 weeks are going to fly.
I'm scared, though. What do I do after this? Obviously, the plan is honours, but
you're getting to honours. You'll be right.
But in terms of, obviously, the podcast news, we decided to invest 134 Australian dollars or 108 US dollars. So thank you very much, Podbean, because they are now our hosts, and my plan is for obviously every episode to be hosted with our host that we pay to host.
Yeah.
But and I will have the most recent 2 podcasts stay on SoundCloud because in my head it's a lot. I already have Apple Music, so I didn't want to pay so much money, $14 a month, to have music that I wouldn't even necessarily listen to all the time. Do you know what I mean? I don't care about the advertisements. Yes, it would be helpful to have analytics, but at this point in time, we're just a baby podcast, so it doesn't matter per se. I'd rather have unlimited hosting and uploading. So, that's that there. And now you can find us on Podbean, but our new links will be down below. And like I said, if you still listen to us on SoundCloud, our 2 most recent episodes will remain on there week to week.
And the rest will be stalled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, moving on to our book updates. You first.
Well, I read a page. So yeah, I think
you failed your challenge
I
of
failed my
finishing
challenge
Artemis
again.
in 2 days.
Yeah, like it didn't eventuate. So, yeah. And I mean, I haven't even listened to audio. Like, I didn't listen to any audio books because the stupid Google Play app on my phone, when I've been going to listen to that, it's stuck on shuffle. It won't switch. So, one minute I'm
your settings, like your actual, through your settings, you go to the app?
Yeah, I've gone through and I've put it on, so turn shuffle off, and it will just go from chapter 5 to chapter 1 to chapter 20, and I'm like...
Not what you want. Can you make like a playlist?
But here's the thing.
But can you make a playlist?
Yeah, which I did.
Oh, and it shuffles the playlist.
Yeah, but it won't shuffle music. The phone knows that it's in an audiobook form for some reason. I don't know, but it just hates me. And, you know, spoiler alert, you now know what happens at the end. Which that's why, it's just stupid.
So, yeah, for me, I finally finished the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. Claps to me. Props all round. So, yeah, I'm happy. If anyone is a fan of Beauty and the Beast, this is a YA, new adult retelling. It's one of my favourite book series of all time, methinks. And you have no idea what it's about. So, what I have decided to do and force you to do in today's podcast is we're going to take a quiz, a BuzzFeed quiz, so we know it's legitimate, to see which A Court of Thorns and Roses character you are and which one I am. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah? Yeah? No?
Yeah, sounds
But
fair.
while you're finding that webpage that I've sent you the link for, I also finished The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. She's the lady that wrote the Spiderwick Chronicles that I was telling you about.
Yeah.
So I gave her book 4 out of 5 stars, and I'm now currently reading Stalking Jack the Ripper, I should say, by Kerry Montescalo. It was a big deal getting that book ordered in through QBD. It was a big deal using our credit account that is sitting there to pay for this book when we had like $80 worth of credit. Shut up, you stupid crow. You're interfering.
Yes.
But, yeah, you ready to go?
Yep, ready to go.
So, question number 1. Which is your favourite season? And it's gone what I'm assuming is spring, summer, autumn, winter.
Yep.
In terms of Australia, we don't get like a white winter.
No,
so I'm just going to go autumn for me.
I'm going to go autumn.
Click. Why isn't it clicking? Oh no.
Because there's 4 below. Yeah. So...
thank you.
Maybe do I go winter?
I'm going autumn.
Okay, autumn.
You have to put mine. You're supposed to put winter.
Yeah.
You want winter, so you put winter.
And when's your favourite time of the day, which is dawn, midday, dusk, or night?
I'm going to go night.
I'm going to go dawn.
Okay.
And then how many friends do you have? And it's got, I do not have friends, only pawns. Well, that's obviously for a chess player. Just one. My sister. Everyone I meet becomes my friend. I just can't help it. I have handfuls of close friends and they are like family. I have a few, but I do not deserve them. My friends and lovers tend to overlap.
I want to go for, I have a handful of close friends and they are like family.
Yeah. So, geez, see, I've got to toss it up between everyone I meet becomes my friend. I just can't help it. And I have a handful of close friends and they're like family.
But both are true, but which one?
Yeah, probably a handful of close friends. And what is your best quality?
My patience, my determination. I honour traditions, my kind spirit, my protectiveness. I'm honest, I'm a loyal friend and follower. I'm always listening, I'm cunning, I'm beautiful, I'm quite shy.
Yeah, quite witty.
I'm gonna go for, I think, my determination.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'll say... Yeah, I'll go for determination. Or would I be more...
You could almost be... No, I think, like, you have them like a lot of these, but I think determination is your more standouty quality out of there.
Yeah.
What is your worst quality or characteristic? I succumb to despair at times. I'm reckless. I don't notice when I'm being manipulated. I don't stick up for myself or my beliefs. I'm naive. I'm vicious. I'm afraid of my past. I guard my heart too closely. I'm ashamed of my past and who I am. Is being manipulated really such a bad thing? I'm vain. I would say I succumb to despair. Not really, I just yell at it. I'm not so reckless. I do notice manipulation. I stick up for myself. I ain't that naive. I reckon I'm vicious.
Nah.
I used to get told that all the time. Because if I get really, really grumpy, I can be really, really bitchy. So I'm going to go with vicious. Because I'm not afraid of my past.
I reckon I can be reckless at times. You reckon?
I would say for you, you don't notice when you're being manipulated.
Yeah.
But that's me. You have to do, the question is what is your...
No, that makes
so
sense. So
you have to choose.
And then we have a pick a house. So you have...
A really cool townhouse.
You have...
What looks like a French Renaissance...
mansion thing.
Castle.
You have like
a thatched Tudor home.
Yep. You have another estate. Then you have
a house in the mountains.
In the mountains, and just an American
Wisteria Lane house. I'm gonna go for this point in my life. I like the townhouse. I like the ivy, and I like the front door.
Yep. I think I'm gonna go for the.
You can go for the one in the mountains.
Yeah, the one in the mountains.
Which animal would you pick as a pet? Well, we already have 2 cats, so I ain't going to choose the puma. But anyway, for everyone else, there's a fox here, there's a wolf, there's a peregrine falcon? Is that what that is?
Yeah, it looks like a peregrine falcon. Then you've got
bat, a puma, and a bearded lizard.
That looks like a bearded lizard, and that looks like... It's not a lynx, but it's...
It's a puma.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to go for...
I'm going to go the peregrine.
I'm going to go for the wolf.
Peregrine. Pick a flower. White rose, helenium, pinguicula, which I think is aloe, but whatever, it's a succulent. Night blooming jasmine, orchid, hops, or snapdragon. I'm going to go night blooming jasmine. That looks cool.
I'm going to go an orchid.
Alright, select. Oh, yes! Who did you get? I want to find out who you got first.
I got Faya Archeron. Whoever that is.
Feyre?
Yeah, Feyre.
You got the main character.
Woo! I have no idea who this person is.
She's Belle in this adaptation. I don't want to spoil the book series for you in case you read it, but she's Belle in this adaptation.
So apparently I'm a badass huntress in a small grumpy package. You're navigating your swift change from weak mortal to powerful high fae, whatever that is.
A fairy.
Oh, okay, cool. You're slow to trust and even slower to forgive, but could your soulmate be waiting in the shadows if you'd risk letting your guard down? Okay, there you go.
So you're the High Lady of the Night Court.
Okay, right.
I'm the High Lord of the Night Court. I got recerned.
That's funny.
So I'm a Prince of Darkness with a heart of gold. I'm the most powerful High Lord in Pyrethian. I can't remember how to pronounce that word. Despite my smouldering good looks and mind-crushing powers, I still manage to make time to appreciate art, nature, and a few close friends. I give my life to those I love, and I sell my soul to keep them safe. Wow. Such words on this Monday afternoon. Any Mahoozle, I'll link the quiz down below. I should have said that way if anyone wanted to participate in it with us. Yes. You can, but it's there in our description. No, episode notes. That's the word. All right, our first story for the day.
Yes, there's a giant asteroid passing Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially what NASA's doing at the moment is basically tracking this.
They've been tracking it since 2002.
Yeah, and I think it's because it's getting closer that they've decided,
But think about that, like, it first piqued their interest 16 years ago.
Which is a fair amount of time. So they've been watching this, and it's basically larger than Burj Khalifa. So it's big, and in a sense...
potentially dangerous, they've labelled it. So it's going to come as close as 320,000 kilometres or 200,000 miles on the 4th of February, so in like 6 days.
And just in case you're curious, it's got the code name Alpha Juliet 1292002.
2002, obviously denoting the fact that
that's when they pretty much
found it, I guess.
And it is currently travelling at 107,826 kilometres per hour, or for the mileage, 67,000 miles per hour. And just for an interesting fact, it's 1.1 kilometre wide and 0.8 of a kilometre tall. So, yeah, you'd be wanting to track that. Got a
footy field. 2 footy fields.
Yep,
bearing down at you. But it's the largest... it's the largest one recorded, largest space rock that will be swept... that will travel past Earth in recorded history.
And look on the bright side, if it did have a nice little impact, you wouldn't have to worry about heat anymore because there'd be a global ice age. So we could break out the snacks, essentially.
I think by break out the snacks, you mean we'd,
break out the camping gear because there'd be no electricity left. And then, basically...
See you later, kids. You're on your own.
Yep,
Hope you can fend Sherlock. You're in charge of your sisters.
Yep, it's all gone. So, definitely, But see, the thing is, as most people think of asteroids, whenever I see an asteroid, I straight away think of...
Deep Impact?
No, I just think of giant space worms from Star Wars. So, Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, big giant space worms.
Lovely.
So, and there ain't enough Combantrum to go around to try and get rid of those worms. So, definitely... when that thing goes past,
hopefully we'll be able to see it.
Yeah, hopefully NASA's going to absolutely be, having a rock concert.
Yeah. They've pushed back. They were going to do a spacewalk on the space station on the 2nd of February, I think. But they pushed it back to the 7th because they wanted to have everything in place to watch, to track it, travel past.
Because you don't want anything in the way of that. Plus, you think how much debris is floating around Earth at the moment.
Including our space junk.
Oh, space junk everywhere. You basically have to track it to not hit it. So there's heaps of space junk up there. That's the problem. You don't have to worry about asteroids.
We got space junk.
We just got space junk everywhere. So suddenly, if the atmosphere kind of played some tricks and then
we'd rain steel.
It's raining trash. So yeah.
One the next story I found that is a bit more inline, to the Great Barrier Reef that we talked about last week. The coral reef of Thailand is decaying at a really, really fast rate. So the way they've reported it is that, I can't remember who said it, but tourism and pollution is being blamed because there's a 47% increase. So it went from 30% to 77% over a 10-year time frame.
Which is massive.
Yeah. In terms of the rate of coral decay on the Taiwan, is it Taiwanese coast? Is that how it's pronounced? So. I'm sorry if I sound like an idiot, but and the large majority of these corals are actually endangered. So there goes ecology.
Yeah, that's it. And, this is extremely alarming because, in 2008, their Ministry of Natural Resources Environment said that 42,000 ray, which is 30% of a total of 14,000 ray of corals, was destroyed.
Mm.
And that's bad because we look at our reef and we've got coral bleaching going.
But there's actually just rotting.
Yeah, and it's because of the pollution that goes through the water waste treatment.
Yeah, because they're the 4th highest nation in the world in regards to marine waste. But they're trying to put the blame on plastic waste as being the main cause of said damage.
And that would also affect marine life as well.
Yeah.
When you start seeing sea turtles coming up on beaches...
Well, if you get rid of the coral, then the fishies have no place to live.
And
so
the baby turtles have nowhere to hide.
You lose ecology.
Yeah, so...
And then, not that it should impact people, but then you get the tourism issues. And if people are saying, oh my God, the water's dirty, people aren't going to want to go to the beaches.
The amount of marine waste.
Yeah.
So having a 70% damage...
That's a big number.
That's a massive number. So essentially,
they've only got 2/8 left.
Yeah,
they've only got 20%.
I guarantee you,
in a year, 2 years' time,
their reef will be gone, and then, the Great Barrier Reef, well, that'll be gone,
Yeah.
So all these reefs.
Well, they actually, in this study, they did it over like 159 locations. I didn't have a look at the actual article itself, but they looked at Thailand, Myanmar, Indonesia, and they did do a few of our reefs as well. But they didn't talk about whether they were similar species to ones that were found, like it's coral species to the ones we have at the Great Barrier Reef or anything like that. So worth looking into a little bit more, I think.
Bad.
It'll be interesting to see if there's any sort of researcher bias in terms of was it one researcher or one group of researchers that did it a decade ago and surveyed everything, and then to come back, you know, and have a look. But yay!
So, woohoo!
Keeping it fishy, a new population of fish with hands.
Oh boy.
Has been discovered off the coast of Tassie, and it's, I think, like a kilometre away from the other populations that we already know about. But they're called the red handfish, and before this discovery, they only thought that there were 20 to 40 individuals left in the wild. So, in the world, I should say, in the wild. But they have hands because they propel themselves along the ocean floor instead of relying on their fins to swim. So they're obviously endangered.
And I mean, this fish looks badass.
Yeah, it looks so cool too. It almost looks like a Nemo fish. What do they call them? A clownfish. Almost.
Yeah. It probably, you know, walks around going, I'm Mary Poppins.
Oh my god, it does too. I'm Mary fucking Poppins, y'all. I love it. That's hilarious. Good times.
So just, yeah, you know, it's a pity though, because unfortunately this fish is a little bit...
But it's like it's an old species of fish.
Yeah.
Like it's been around for literally, like it's in the actual fossil record.
Yeah, but unfortunately, unlike Yondu, this fish is alive, and it just... Honestly, the problem some people will now do is if...
They'll go hunting for it.
They'll go hunting for it because it's going to be expensive to find.
Although, as if they haven't like taken some of its DNA, so that way they can clone it at a later date.
That'd be a good thing to do.
Do you know what I mean? And you can't, unfortunately and fortunately at the same time, it's a double-edged sword, but with 20 to 40 individuals, obviously a bottleneck effect has already taken place. So they can say that, yes, we'll take away 30% of the mating population, mate them back up, and then put them back in the like wild population because the genetic diversity is already reduced. So what can you do?
Yeah, and the fact that they've got two populations that they've found.
I think they've got like 2 or 3, so don't quote me on it. Like it wasn't, I think they had a couple before, but yeah.
So they are sort of bouncing back.
Talking about diversity, this segment I've titled An Old Bite to Chew On.
To chew.
Because an ancient jawbone recovered from a collapsed cave in coastal Israel was just dug up in the last couple of days, and they found sophisticated stone tools in quotation marks nearby because, and this is really, really important in terms of our human history, because it likely belonged to an unsuccessful 175,000-year-old human explorer, and he is the oldest human fossil located outside of Africa. So in terms of genetics, like out of Africa theory, this is a really, really, really big deal. So
yeah, so for all you geneticists out there, this is a good one. So I mean, the thing that I suppose we all look at it, and I suppose what we studied in our genetics was you've also got the Neanderthals and modern humans and Denisovans. So you look at it and go, at which point did they branch out? And it adds more to the I suppose the tree.
Yeah.
See where they all branched out. But each time they find something, it's a case of how much does it like change
and skew all the data we already have in our projected timeline.
Because some of them are bigger than the others, and it's pretty cool.
And that's the annoying thing about not having like the full story. Like, you know, we can only work with what we have. Yep. We don't know, unfortunately, everything.
Which is not much.
So we spoke about this, and because we were talking about how 50 Cent became a millionaire
Yeah, 50
because he was accepting Bitcoin as payment for his latest album. I don't know how much he made, but there was a cryptocurrency hack on Friday, and Japan's largest digital currency exchange network has pledged to pay back all of their customers, and it's estimated to cost them 660 million Australian dollars across hundreds and hundreds of people that, would you say, bank with them?
Possibly.
Or what's the word that you'd use for that trade in their cryptocurrency?
660 by 10 to the 6. That's
a lot of moolah.
That's a lot of moolah. That's a lot of cryptocurrency gone.
But it shows, like, you know, that it... But how can you not track that if it's all, you know, online? That's the bit that I don't understand. Can they not see where it was going? Or did they literally just move $1 here, $2 there, 3 coins this way, 5 coins that way, and move it to a conglomerate?
Well,
offshore account.
I don't know. It's like I'm no expert on Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, but...
Well, no, but I mean, like, do you think they did it in smaller transactions rather than one big lump sum, $660 million transfer?
I reckon they did it in small lump sums because, I mean, you think about it, if you have a worm running or something, you can just leak leech the data, and essentially that's all it is. Yeah, but you look at it and you look at the stability of Bitcoin compared to these ones, and you think, okay, are they trying to push certain cryptos?
Why not just stick with online banking?
People want to figure out a way to make more money.
True, but it's not like people are saying, "Oh my god, you know, it's worth so much money." I can go and buy a Bitcoin for 1,000th of an Australian dollar.
Yeah,
it's not that big of a currency yet.
And basically, they just all run off blockchain. That's the thing. So,
good luck to you guys. Imagine their stakeholders and their shareholders, and like, there goes your company.
Yeah, gone.
Unless they have insurance, which you would assume they have.
You'd hope.
They'd have to have insurance for it, right?
And see, I think it's more looking at what population is using it and how much traffic. So, because this is, I mean, you primarily look at blockchain, and it's around the year of 2009 to 2012.
Yeah.
So it's more used by, I suppose, a community that deals primarily around data. If you don't understand...
You don't invest.
You don't invest.
Yeah, and you don't trade with it.
But it's become...
More mainstream?
More mainstream, but they used it in the sense that it would have been harder to tamper with transactions, but also reduce risks. So you're looking at a reduction in credit and liquidity risks. So you look at that on the banking side, they tried to make it seems like it's a bit more controlled, but what we found in this day and age, everything can be hacked. So it's just constantly an acceleration of technology. At what point do you fall behind? At what point do you stay ahead? So, I mean, on the bright side, I mean, okay, we're dealing with electronic transactions and, you know, electronic currency. But what happens when the blockchains start breaking down?
Yeah.
At what point does it kind of go, uh-oh, this is not feasible anymore? So...
Imagine if it was similar to, like, what happened with the last banking collapse that happened in, like, 2008, where, like, the economic collapse, where they trade more coin than they have. Like, more, you know what I mean?
Yeah. See, that's why, I mean, people employ viruses in certain files when you browse the internet, or even in an ad, you might have something embedded, which then, I suppose, mines these bitcoins.
But they released this data, I think, a couple of days ago or last week, where I can't remember if it was Bitcoin or some other cryptocurrency thing, but they have been making money off advertisements.
Yeah.
As people just went about their daily lives and didn't know about it because they researched something to do with Bitcoin or these other cryptocurrencies, and then the cookies start tracking them.
Yep. And then you start making the monies.
So talking about making the monies, the Australian government wants to be one of the big guns in terms of defence trading. So this morning at around 9:30, the federal government, if I can pronounce things, has announced a strategy because they want to create high-tech jobs to become one of the top 10 leading defence industry exporting countries.
Ooh. So basically just export it.
Yeah, except we're going to sell to, in quotation marks, like-minded countries, not rogue regimes. Our Trade Minister, Stephen Siobo, or some shit like that, he told...
So would that technically mean that Tasmania is a rogue regime?
No, because it's still part of our federation.
But it's Tasmania.
But it's still part of our federation.
But it's Tasmania.
You weren't saying that when your brother was offering you a free trip for a week.
Yeah, that is true. So.
But yeah, our Trade Minister, he said to 9 News in a separate interview that there's going to be strict controls to ensure that we only supply our defence assets in the future to like-minded countries that have strong human rights records and their own protections, so that way it's aligned with our foreign policy.
Yeah, so they don't want
morals.
people, breaching human rights.
But the thing is, we can sell it, for example, not that I am suggesting anything. Say we sell it to UK. What happens if some crazy person in the UK is siphoning off, caches to someone,
But
a rogue
See, the problem is,
regime.
it's more a case of it's gonna obviously go in by plane or ship, but if it goes to from military base to military base,
it's a lot more restricted.
because if it was just coming into port, what's to stop people on the wharf?
Yeah, from taking over. But
them.
we have a lot of contracts that are coming out, and for the French, we're doing. How much was it? I think, Stephanie, I think it was a $56 million submarine trade. We're in talks at the moment, and they're trying to figure out what the plan is. But with France, we're going to make them a ton of submarines.
Yeah.
So it's our next big thing because, as you know, GMC left Australia's shores in October. So they want to have more kind of jobs flood the market and that kind of thing. So to actually help our economy, they're setting aside 3.8 billion Australian dollars in a fund, so that way we can lend exporters this money, so that way, because banks can choose to back or not, depending on their own morals and where they want to see their money invested. So if the banks won't fund them, the Australian government is happy to do that and to lend them the money in this $3.8 billion fund, because they're also using this money to boost our central they're going to actually make a central defence export office, and then they're going to expand the attaches in all of our embassies around the world, obviously in safer ones that are deemed less risk embassies. And this is going to be our largest build-up in peacetime history. So we're beefing up.
Oh, yeah. But they know something we don't. But also, too, look at the fact that General Motors Co. pulled out of building Australian cars. So we don't have that infrastructure anymore.
But it makes you think, was this all planned?
Possibly.
To move to a more,
I mean, if you start getting defence contracts and defence assets moving into and out of, Australia.
Yeah, it makes a big deal.
And obviously, if you're building military infrastructure, it's gonna... You need money, but you're gonna make money.
Yeah. So. But Malcolm Turnbull, who's our Prime Minister, thinks that this is going to push us to the top 10 from our current 20th ranking. And I actually had a look at the Talis stocks this morning. Since this announcement was made, stock went up 2.44 or 2.78% in the 5 hours since this announcement was made. So all I'm going to say is I am moving to what's the one? It's close to Wangaratta. I'm moving to Tallis.
Yeah.
I'm working at Tallis. I'm getting a grad job there, and I'm going to start making bank.
Yeah, absolutely.
But,
So,
yeah. And he was also risky enough to say that apart from North Korea, there's no other country in the region that shows us any hostile intent.
Yeah, you know why? Because we've got these 6'5" tall kangaroos that go around beating the crap out of everything. That's why Skippy got the bomb. Well, maybe not the bomb, but it's definitely got a few guns. Bang, bang! Yeah, bad Skippy.
Yeah.
Just imagine that wombat landmines.
Do you know that Tallis has been here since 1890s?
Wow.
Since the 1890s, I should say.
It'd be interesting to see what their security's like.
Look, I asked because I had a friend whose father worked there. And remember when, what's that guy, Dan Bilzerian, was a thing? I was saying to this person that I wanted Dan Bilzerian to fund it, but I wanted to go take over Tallis. And this was me back in 2003, right? And apparently it's mined out the wazoo. They've got heat sensors. To get in to even work as a tradie, like a sparky, you have to go through so many clearance checks and background checks, and unless you prove to be a really good worker, they phase you out after, like, the contracts only go for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And just getting in there, like, it's mined out. They have heat sensors everywhere.
Wow.
Apparently a rabbit gets in and they know about it.
Jeez.
They will shoot you out, like, if you rock up to there, because it's gated.
Yeah.
And you look, and it just looks like, not even farmland, it just looks like bushland.
Yeah.
And we drove past it when we went to Canberra.
Lights.
And you look at it, and it just looks like, you can tell it's not a government building, but you can tell it's like a installment.
Yeah, or an installation.
That's the word I meant to say. Sorry, I'm an idiot. And you look at it, and but you can't tell because it's so many Ks in the actual block of land. But it's just insane. So
yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So they make, like, they hire 3,200 employees around the country, and they make over $1 billion Australian dollars in revenue.
Wow.
And 1.6 billion in exports.
All the moolah.
Yep. So that is that. Now this one. This is the most important story of the day. I thought you would I'll let you read it out because I don't want to spoil it for you.
Not so fit in the line of duty. So basically they've said that Strava, which is the GPS tracking company, published a global heat map using satellite information from 13 trillion data points. And what it shows is the whereabouts of people using fitness activity trackers like Fitbit. Yay!
Yeah.
So
essentially they generated this map from 2 years worth of data. So from September 2015 to September 2017. And obviously you're going to get the most hot-spotted areas in big countries, so like the US, Europe, ourselves. But there are some smaller activity traces in conflict zones and war-torn countries like Iraq and Syria.
Yeah.
And these match up to both known and unknown, undisclosed, like CIA and soldier, like army.
Yeah, US military bases.
Yeah.
So the problem now is because these American...
Literally, like, if you go to this link that I put here, there is this user who actually showed, like, you know, Mogadishu,
Yes.
the CIA, how they moved from the annex. They moved the annex from where they were to the Mogadishu airport.
Yes.
They can act literally the route
Yeah,
that the soldiers take when they're walking around the base, the annex, to patrol. Looks like a neon. Like, have a look at the link that I just sent you. It looks insane. And it just marks out, because these idiots, and that's what they are, they're absolute idiots, they did not realise that they had to go through their settings, their privacy settings, and their security settings, and turn off their users sharing data.
Yeah. So essentially they've just...
blown all this cover, and the Air Force Colonel John Thomas, who's a spokesperson for the US Central Command, he's gone ahead and said that we're reviewing these implications and this heat map, and that you know, it poses a large security threat. But the big thing is in 2003 when Fitbit came out, in order to curb like obesity and promote health and, you know, within the armed forces, they handed out free Fitbits to their employees.
Yeah.
To like servicemen and women.
But you also look at it, data mining. You are literally data mining and you're seeing where people go.
Yeah. But that's not what it was about, and I don't think these idiots...
No, it's... Yeah. But it is pretty cool. So, I want to see the heat maps in, you know, Everest.
I don't think that the Fitbit would work up there.
Ah, well, maybe. Maybe like in an unfit bit.
Because if you're so cold, the infrared isn't going to pick you up.
Yeah,
the tracker isn't going to detect you as much.
So I think they would have probably got some emails and everything, and their sergeants would have been going a little crazy, and everyone literally would have been said, look, turn your damn Fitbits off.
Yeah. Or
hand them back. So, yeah, imagine the Pentagon, they would have gone into damage control big time.
Yep. Last story of the day. Not so actually. There are parents in the UK that are making their children drink bleach.
Now, take this into account the last week. Or was it for...
Yeah, we were speaking
we were discussing about bleach.
These parents are making their children drink bleach because they think that it will cure them of autism because of that some American cult. It's a practice of some American cult that was obviously disbanded. But I can't remember. I don't know. I tried to find out which cult it is. I'm thinking it's, you know, the one, the alien people. I think it was their practice. I'm not 100% sure. But some of these kids are as young as 2 years old, and the parents have actually made a secret Facebook group where they're trying to convince other parents that join the group to do it, how to do it, what products to use, the dosage in quotation marks, and all that other garbage.
So, yeah, I think it's called the Genesis 2 Church. So there's like different chapters.
I don't know.
But there's one in Ireland. Weird. But, bleach, not so good.
No, and these people, like, poor children. Poor babies.
Just, why would you do that? It's, like, why the heck would you actively make your child ingest sodium hypochlorite or chlorine?
Because they think it'll cure them of something, because they're idiots.
What, so you're just gonna... It's a horrible thing. I mean, imagine, like, those kids would... I mean, they would be seriously...
Ill. Very, very ill.
Yeah. Not a good thing. I mean, okay, it has an antimicrobial...
Oh, yeah, but please.
But yeah, it's not good. Not good. It's just... Wow.
So I brought up our heat map. Well, not our heat map, but Stevia's heat map. And America is not as lit up as Europe. Like, look at how big Europe is.
It's massive.
Like, there's one right there. There's another path that...
There are some interesting... looking at this heat map, there's a lot of dark areas.
And then, like, 4 or 5... really, really walked around.
So you know what's going to happen?
Pathways.
People are going to go, there's a base here, there's a base here, there's a base here.
Yeah.
So essentially what you could do is... Imagine that. You give out free Fitbits to a little warlord or something, to the troops, and then you map where they go.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then you look at Australia, and then it's just like, on the freeway, the Hume. And the Calder.
Yep, I think that's... Yeah,
that's the Calder there, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the Calder. And then the rest is the Hume. And then it's just... It almost looks like a spider web.
Yeah. Very cool image, though.
And then it gets obviously really... And we're somewhere in here.
Yeah.
Here's somewhere.
That's a pretty intense heat map.
Yeah, it almost looks like a neural network.
It does.
So...
Yeah, so... Very cool.
But I'll link this map in the episode notes so you guys can check it out and see if you can identify yourselves. I want to have a look at New Guinea and see if there's anything there. Hang on.
What about if you find it in the middle of the ocean?
Nothing in New Guinea. They're actually Border Patrol is showing up when they're patrolling international waters, like Australian Border Patrol. Good job, guys. Good job.
Well done.
The military base in Broome, that's where they are.
Ooh.
And the SAS base is somewhere here. Good job, guys.
Well done.
Brilliant. But yeah, do you have anything else you want to add to this?
No, just that heat map is really cool. So essentially, Australia's got all the heat. Now we have more heat being generated.
Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha. Such funny. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, that's pretty much all good.
Yep.
I'll have to build some more up for next week.
What are your plans for this week?
Read another page.
How's your last day of work, and then
building
now
something
your new
maybe,
weekend is Tuesday, Wednesday?
by the looks of it. So, I might build something. So
I am thinking I might record. So I've got literally 10 book reviews to do.
yeah,
Plus I have to do a ton of filming for February booktube videos.
Oh.
Yay! So I might do that tonight if it cools down. But I'm looking outside. I'm gonna open everything back up and just
let cool breezes come through.
yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
I feel heavy. Like my body feels heavy.
It's just lack of sleep. You haven't slept properly, so yeah. So yeah, that's the big thing, people. Catch those Z's because,
And drink that water.
Yep,
Hope
hydrate.
everyone had a not so decent invasion day.
Yeah, holiday invasion day.
What else is coming up in the world this
Um,
week?
Well, we have another episode of Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah, that comes out today.
Yeah,
you should
we might
watch
as well
it
watch that
before you
now.
go to work.
Yeah, so we're going to watch that,
Yeah.
and when the first season ends, we will review it.
Yep. Well, you can do a mid-season review now if you want.
No, I'm going to save it to the end
You want to save it to the end?
because we've got some twists and turns.
Things you weren't expecting.
Yeah, Tukufba is a little.
Stop it. Stop. Stop it.
So, yeah. So,
Ugh.
Kelech. So maybe what I will do is just go around, practice my Klingon a little bit more. So, yeah.
So that is it for us, from us, I should say. Are you going to watch American Horror Story Roanoke with me?
Yes.
Roanoke? Something. How do you say it? And I need to recall how you're saying it. So say it so I can stick it in my head.
Roanoke?
So I am saying it right, Roanoke.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, that's pretty much how I say it. Roanoke.
Let's do a pronunciation check.
Pronunciation of Roanoke.
Shh.
The following pronunciation is brought to you by pronouncenames.com.
I don't care.
Roanoke. Roanoke.
Roanoke.
Yeah, Roanoke.
Cool.
Yeah.
Roanoke. Do I think I'll have it finished by next week? I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
I probably will.
You'll finish it before I finish Artemis.
Let's be real, but I'm trying to focus on reading. So, yes, that is it for us this week, guys. Apologise that it is a bit on the shorter side. Hope you're all having a fantastic week. You're all staying safe. Drink lots of water. If you're in Australia, if you're in the US, hope you're staying warm.
Yeah.
And
So I'm surprised if I wasn't working today, I probably would have cracked open a Guinness. Or a few.
or a few. Yeah, right, a few.
Hey, I've been, drinking the Dilmah.
Dilmah.
And the Defenders of the Universe.
But anyway, staying on topic, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you very much for listening. And
We apologise if we offended anyone in any comments that we have said. That was not our intention. That's just our little disclaimer at the end. Thank you so much. As always, if you have any topics you want us to cover, any questions you want us to pose, please let us know. I'm thinking about making 2 episodes a week, and our midweek episode being a bit more, whether it be conspiracy theory, like based on a conspiracy theory or a group of related conspiracy theories or missing cases. I'm thinking about doing that.
I'm more on
so.
conspiracies like Why do Neapolitan nut cluster
No,
cereals?
not about Neapolitan nut cluster cereals.
Conspiracy.
Legitimate conspiracies. So if that's something that you're interested in, please be sure to let us know. As always, our contact information and the links of where you can find us will be in the episode notes as always. And thank you so much for listening, everyone, and we will catch you on the flip side next week.
Yes. Au revoir.
Da 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 da.
Da, 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 da.
No no no.
Da, 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 da.